Hey guys, I know that I have not uploaded anything in a really long time, but I'm back and I'm here to show you these gorgeous bubble press-on nails that I've created for my favourite drag queen, Layla Sphinx, to wear for Drag Idol All Stars. So this is the set that we are going to create. I'm using CGLP, French Lavender and Madame Glam Rosy Nude. And I'm going to start by painting 2 coats on all of these nails for each colour. So the ring, finger and the thumb are going to have this rosy nude base, and then the rest of the fingers I'm going to paint with the gorgeous French Lilac from CGLP. I love these CGLP gel polishes. They are really thick, really creamy. I know before I said French Lilac, it is French Lilac. I said French Lavender, and I am getting a little bit confused with my Scentsy wax called French Lavender. So this is French Lilac and it is gorgeous. It's a really deep and dusky lilac-y colour, and then Madame Glam's Rosy Nude is one of my all-time favourite nudes in the whole entire world, and it has been for probably about 4 years. So once we have painted all of these nails, we are going to pop them in the lamp and we're going to give them a good cure. And I'm not going to make you sit through my second coat because I want to get right to the good stuff. So we have 2 coats applied, and now we are going to take Rainbow Silver. It's another CGLP. It's a really densely packed with this glitter. It's beautiful. So I am going to use it really sparingly. I don't want to cover the colours underneath, but all we're doing right now is creating a background for our bubble effect later on. So we're going to use this really sparingly, and we're just going to do all 5 nails in the same way. Now, we're not going to cure this yet. While it is still wet, we are going to take these beautiful magpie flakes in Rosanna. I'm going to sprinkle some out onto my piece of paper here, and I'm just going to use an old gel brush, or an old anything kind of brush, I suppose, anything that you can use to pick them up and place them not all over the nail, but just lay them on wherever you want them. Again, it's still just our background, but I think these give it that lovely opalescent kind of stony, like marbly, granite-y type of effect. And so we're just going to do this until we are happy with our results. And then once we have got them all sitting flat, which is really easy, they are lovely to work with. Once we're happy with how these nails look, we're then going to pop them in the lamp and we're going to cure this all together. I'm just going to slow this down and let you see in real time what these nails look like. I love this effect, and you could always do anything with this. You could do some stamping on top, you could do anything. It's a beautiful background for so many different types of art. But what we're going to do next is we are going to apply a nice generous coat of top coat over all of these nails. We're going to hold it upside down so that we can level it out and make sure everything is nice and smooth. And then we're going to pop it into our lamp and we are going to fully cure this top coat. And now, while those are curing, this is where the magic happens. This is my box of bubbles. Literally, all I have done is I have put a tiny bit of water and some washing up liquid into a lunchbox. I've put the lid on and I've given it a really, really good shake, and so my box of bubbles is ready. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take the opposite colour to our base colour, and we are going to apply a really, really thin coat. And I can't stress this enough, it needs to be super, super thin, because the thicker it is, the less of the effect that you're going to get. So super, super thin, you still want to be able to see through it. And then once we have done this on all of the nails, we're going to do something fun. So once you're happy with your thin colour coat on the top, we are not going to cure this. We are going to dip it into our box of bubbles, and we are going to basically cover it in bubbles. Now, you don't want to hit the water at the bottom, you don't want to get them wet, but they are going to get bubbly. And I never thought that anything could be this much fun, but it was. It's combining two of my favourite things. It's nails and it's bubbles. Who doesn't love bubbles? So here I'm just using my finger, and I'm going to make sure all of the nails are covered in bubbles, and then I am just going to blow them off after they have had one cure, and then I'll put them back in for the rest of the cure, just to make sure that it is completely set. Now, as you can see, we have this really nice textured effect. So if you like textured, you can just wipe off the inhibition layer and leave them like this. I'm sure that would work, but I'm not going to do that. Even though they are gorgeous, they look like some kind of fancy stone or some kind of fancy dragon egg. I don't know. Everyone will have a different opinion on this, but I love them. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to apply 2 top coats to make sure they are as smooth as possible, and I'm going to let you see what happens next. I love top coating nails. I think it's possibly my favourite part of any nail service, especially acrylic design, when you get to see what you've actually created underneath. It's my favourite. But I think with this set, adding a top coat has definitely made them look a little bit more subtle, but that's okay, because we are going to add a lot more bling. And of course, if you have clients that like a bit more subtle, you can do this in so many different colours. You can do it in similar colours, or you can do it in contrasting colours. You can do this, the options are basically endless with this technique. It's literally washing up liquid and water with a bit of gel polish. So I'm going to top coat these twice to make sure everything's nice and smooth. Now, once you've added your second top coat, you can of course cure and leave it at that, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do next is I am going to wipe off that inhibition layer, because I am using a tacky top coat, and then I am going to take a Young Nails 240 sponge buffer. I'm going to smooth these out. I'm going to make sure I don't have any massive divots or anything like that. They're not too bad anyway. We just want to make them extra smooth, just so that they look super shiny when we finish top coating them. And we're going to do it really, really gently. You do not want to buff through your top coat. We are not trying to buff off any design. We are literally just taking any little edges where the bubbles have spilt over the side with a bit of gel polish. They can leave little edges, but we're just going to get rid of any of those. There aren't many, and then we're going to smooth over the top of them so that we can add some bling. Once we are happy that we have made everything nice and smooth, we're just going to remove any dust. We don't want to be top coating that back in there. And then we're going to move on to some bling. So I have some CJP gripper glue, a crystal tray. I have my collection of Swarovski crystals, and I'm going to be using just plain crystals. These are all from Scatter Crystals. I love Scatter Crystals. I will get all of my Swarovski crystals from there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these crystals to replicate the design that I have created on the top set of nails, because we need 10 nails and we need them all to look like a set. So I'm literally just going to use a little dab of glue, and I'm going to start placing crystals. So here we go. I know some of you like watching crystal placement, and I know that some of you don't, but I have left this in there anyway because I love a bit of bling and I love a bit of crystal placement. It would help, I suppose, if I kept it in shot for the whole time, but I am only human and mistakes are made. You get the idea. For this nail, we're going to start placing the crystals in the corner, and we're going to sort of dribble them down the side so it looks like it's dripping in jewels. And it always takes that one last crystal, and then I am happy with that nail. It's not going to look the same as the other one. And I can never get them identical when you're doing random kind of placements, but hey ho, they still look gorgeous. So for the middle nail and the thumbnail, I'm just going to place one crystal in the middle, and then for this pointer finger, I'm going to do the same as what I've done on the ring finger. I'm going to put one bigger crystal in the middle. I'm going to put two medium-sized ones either side of it so that we can make our line. And then we are going to put another one of those medium-sized crystals right in the middle underneath the other one, so we can start making our triangle, chevron, cuticle, space shape. It's gorgeous. It's a really easy design to do. You can put it on any kind of nails and it always just adds that little bit of extra. I find that my clients absolutely love this crystal placement, this little triangle, and then just to add a little bit of extra, because they need to be a little bit extra, we're just going to add one tiny little one just underneath that. And then I'm going to finish it off with putting that one big crystal on the thumb. And then I am going to set these aside for a few minutes, and I'm going to let that dry completely. I do not want to top coat that while that glue is still wet. Once our glue is dry, we are going to top coat around these crystals. We are using real Swarovski crystals. You do not want to top coat over the top of them because we all know it will make them dull. So you can use a smaller brush for this if you want to. I just did them with my top coat brush, but we're just gonna top coat around the edges of those crystals, really seal the bottoms of them in, make sure that there is no gaps and nothing is sticking up, and we're going to top coat the whole of the rest of the nail while we are doing this. So once I've top coated, I am going to turn them over again. When I'm doing false nails like this, I like to just make sure that I can try and level them as much as possible, and then we're going to give them that one last cure. Now when they come out, we're going to wait a few minutes or a few 30 seconds to a minute before we remove this inhibition layer. We want them to keep that shine, and then oh my gosh, I'm so happy with these. We're done. This is a gorgeous set of nails. It was a super fun technique. I'm really glad I had a play with this, and I cannot wait to see Layla wearing these on stage with her gorgeous nude and lilac and silver gown. She's going to look amazing. I am sure that we will put some pictures up on Instagram. There will be pictures. Oh, I'm so glad I've done these. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope I will see you all in the next one. Bye.